Thanks for joining me today. This is Danny, and welcome back to my 1.11.2 series. Today we are going to be all over the map. We're going to be playing with some RFTools, some actual additions, some refined storage. The first thing that I want to do is start working with the teleportation system in RFTools, matter transmitters and receivers. I mean, we can get around with our car, we can get around with our airships, but I want to be able to teleport to places that we go to that are kind of far away in order to get to them instantaneously, especially things in other dimensions like our quarry in the deep dark. And using the deep dark portal takes forever, and sometimes it's unpredictable how long it's going to take, so I would really like to have an instantaneous way to get there. I would also, with RFTools, like to kind of upgrade our storage module tablet by adding another remote storage module to it, so that we can access a kind of a personal inventory that we can carry around that'll have like 300 stacks of stuff in it. Theoretically, you can link to like 4 different storage modules in this thing, each holding 300 stacks, a total of 1,200 stacks of stuff that you can just carry around with you that are stored remotely. However, I just want to add one more. We're already carrying one module with us, and that is the one that sends stuff back to our base. So if we put stuff in there, it ends up going into our ore processing system and our sorting system, and then it ends up in our refined storage system. So that's going to be pretty easy and quick to set up because we already have most of the infrastructure in place. And then after that, I want to see what we can do about getting a little bit of flight around the base. So we're going to play around with the environmental controller from RFTools, and we're going to find a secret little way to do it really pretty cheaply. And we're just going to do some other miscellaneous stuff that I've been kind of wanting to do for a while, but it wasn't like big enough to warrant an entire episode. So like I said, we're going to be all over the place today, and there's going to be no theme whatsoever to this episode. RFTools has a teleportation system that consists of matter transmitters, matter receivers, dialing devices, and charged porters that we can hold in our inventory. So we're going to start with making a matter transmitter and receiver. So as you can see, it does require some ender pearls, something that would have been difficult for us a few episodes ago. Today, that is not a problem at all. And I'm actually going to make a couple of these matter receivers right away. And I'm going to make a dialing device. I'll tell you what the matter booster is later when we get into some of the caveats to this. And we'll start with that. So I'm going to use this corner as kind of my teleportation corner. Matter transmitter here, and then matter receiver here. And then these guys all are going to need power. So I'm just going to use XNet to give these guys some power. I'm connecting, connectors to them. And then we're going to run cables to connect with this network. All right, insert power, and the dialing device. Insert power. All right, these guys are all powered up. Yay! So now if we go in here, we can give these guys names. So we're going to call this, base. We'll call this one base as well. So we have a base matter receiver and a base matter transmitter. And if we look under here, up here we're going to see the nearby matter transmitters. And then down here we're going to see all the matter receivers that we have in our entire world. So we can select the matter transmitter, and then we can tell it what matter receiver we want it to link to. And then we can dial into that receiver. So I said dial once. We can also say dial, which is permanent, which means it will stay dialed into that receiver until we select something else. And we now have a green beam telling us that, hey, we're going somewhere here. And we're going to step there, and it teleported us over here. and it gave us the world moved. Nice. If we do dial once, it's basically the same idea, except as soon as we teleport, it will undial itself. Now we can take this other matter receiver and we can put it anywhere else in some other dimension. We can put it in whatever, far, far away, and we can dial into it. It'll show up in this matter receiver, or in this dialing device, and then we can dial to it and teleport there. But I don't want to always have to go to the dialing device, so I want to make myself a charged porter. Another thing that requires a lot of ender pearls which would have been difficult a little while ago, but not so much today. So what we can do with this guy, the charge porter, stores a certain amount of RF. You can see it pulled RF from our battery, and we can, we can shift right click on a matter receiver, and now this charge porter is set to that matter receiver. So if we can go far, far away, and then right click our matter receiver, and it takes us back here. And we can do that from anywhere. We can do that from another dimension, whatever. So now I want to take this other matter transmitter and go through the deep dark portal for the last time. These deep dark portals can be a little annoying because they're slow, and you never really know how long they're going to take. I mean, sometimes we'll sit here for like a minute, other times it'll just be a few seconds. Okay, so now we're here, and we've got power over here, so I'm just going to I'm just going to set it next to this. So there's our matter receiver. So we can give this matter receiver a name. We can see it's getting filled up with power right now. We can give it the name Quarry, and we'll put deep dark in parentheses. Actually, we don't have to because it's going to tell us it's in the deep dark. And that's done. Okay, so now we can take this charge porter and we can pop back home. And here we are. And now if we look on our dialing device, we are going to see that we have our quarry right there. So we can dial into our quarry, and we can head over to our quarry whenever we want. And it takes us right here. Hooray! Now we're going to go back. So there is a little bit of a delay when we first teleport. And we can speed up the delay. We can make it less or make it instant by infusing these things, but with dimensional shards. However, we're not at that point yet, but at some point we will do that. Oh, and as you can see, we're almost out of power now. When we teleport short distances, it doesn't take very much power, but when we teleport between dimensions, it takes a lot of power. And if we run out of power, we won't be able to teleport. If our receiver runs out of power, we could die. So you want to make sure that your matter receivers are safe and that they're powered. However, there is a way around that, and that is with the matter booster. So you could take your matter booster, that's a destination analyzer surrounded by redstone, and place that next to your matter transmitter, and it'll prevent death it'll basically allow you, it'll take power from this instead of your receiving matter receiver. But another thing that will be good to have is a destination analyzer. So if we put the destination analyzer next to our matter receiver and we dial into something, the color of the beam is going to tell us whether or not that receiver is safe. So it's going to be one of three colors. It's either going to be green, or it's going to be yellow, which means that it found the matter receiver, but that chunk isn't loaded. It'll be red if it's not safe to teleport there. So either there's not enough power in the receiver, or it's in a dead dimension, or something to that effect. So now I don't want to stop here with the charge porter. I want to go all the way to the advanced charge porter for a couple of reasons. This is going to give us a couple of advantages. One of them is that it holds a lot more RF. So when we put it in our inventory, it's going to completely drain our battery. Whew. That took a while. So we now have 1,000,000 RF in our advanced charge porter, so we won't have to worry so much about it running out of power. And I'm just going to fill that thing up. And we can hear our quarries running downstairs, or our ore doubling is going on downstairs because our quarry started running because we took some diamonds. And now we're back up to 64 ender pearls. That's so nice. And 124 diamonds. With our advanced charge porter, not only can we store a lot more RF, but if we shift right click in the air, we can see that there are multiple targets. We can save up to 8 targets. So I'm going to set the first one to this. Whoa. What the frick was that? Okay, anyway, so I'm going to shift right click on this one, and now we can see the quarry has been added to slot number 2. I think I might need to raise the roof here a little bit. Teleporting with RFTools is quite easy once you have a decent supply of ender pearls and redstone and a few diamonds. So now let's take a look at our storage stuff. So what I want to do is I want to make the top tier storage module. So that's basically going to require 3 chests. And some of these resources. Some of these resources and these. Easy enough, right? So now we have a storage module that can store up to 300 stacks of items, and we can put that in a modular storage like this, and then we'll have 300 stacks of items, or we can put it in our remote storage up here, and we can open it up for cross-dimensional access. Storage module tablet and a crafting grid in order to remove the module. Oops, and now I'm going to put the module up here. And now I'm going to craft them back together again. Now we should have access to both inventories. As you can see, this is the drop chest where we can put things and they'll get pulled away. And then this is our 300 stack personal inventory, where we can put all kinds of things that we're not using right now. Nice! And we can keep our inventory nice and clean. In fact, I'm going to empty out my traveler sack. And I'm going to put it in there because we don't really need to carry that around anymore. So check this out, man. Danny's got a clean inventory. How often does that happen? I'm getting better, man. I am, I swear. So now that we're using a lot more RF for teleporting and such, we probably want a bigger battery. We made this double battery from actual additions before we were able to even empower crystals. So we can certainly afford to do a bigger battery now. So switching gears to actual additions, let's make some batteries. So we have the double battery. From there we can make a triple, which requires empowered Anori crystals, which we might already have. No, we don't. Okay. It's actually going to end up making 9. Oh, we need snowballs. I was just about to get in my airship and fly off to a snowy biome, but then I remembered I could make snow with Botania, with pure daisies. Although the water does knock the daisy, it does cause the daisy to break, so you have to do what I just did and place the water on one of the corners. Yay, there we go. That's enough. Whoops. This tool is too powerful. There we go. Okay, there's our triple battery. That brings us up to 600,000 RF. And then we can go to quadruple. Okay, it's the same. I guess we need more Anori crystals. Or more empowered Anori crystals. Okay, now we're at quadruple. We're up to 1 million. And our next step is quintuple, which brings us up to 2 million. It requires 5 empowered diamantine crystals. I think I'm going to go for it, because why not? Here we are. Yay! We can now carry 2 million RF with us. Nice. Whew. Well, that took a while. There's our quintuple battery. Hooray! So I'm finally starting to do a little bit of decorating outside, but I'm finding that I would really like to be able to access my items from out there. So it's time to get started with our wireless crafting grid. Hooray! That's from refined storage. Oh, and it pulls a charge right away from our battery. That's cool. So we're going to need a wireless grid, but of course the wireless grid all by itself isn't going to do anything because there's no controller, or because it's not linked to the controller. But so first thing we're going to do is link it to the controller by finding the controller. There it is. So So we shift right click on the controller. It should now be linked. But now if we try to access it, it's going to say there's no wireless transmitter in range. So we have to make a wireless transmitter. And that is this guy. It's so nice having ender pearls. There's so many things that we haven't been able to do. I think I'm going to put this somewhere down, kind of centrally located in this like whole area here. So I'm thinking down there. Revisiting the topic of mobility, I'm making some OpenBlocks elevators. Well, from the elevator mod. So if you've never played with elevators before, they're pretty simple. You basically place an elevator there, and then we place another one directly above or below it. Is that going to work? Yeah. And then when you jump, you go up here. And when you shift, you go down there. Yay! So then I'm going to do this right below here. Oh boy. Okay. And then I'm going to make the tunnel down here too, because one of the points of this project is to be able to get into the tunnel. Okay, so I'm going to put one elevator down there and then one up there. And now we have easy access to our tunnel and every floor of our house. Yay! I mean, it's fun running up and down the stairs for a while, but after a while it's like, okay. Let's come up with a better way to do this. So I'm going to put the wireless charger right about here. I think this is, yeah, about in the middle of that bridge. And we can put it along any one of our cables. Actually, I think we have to put it on top of our cable, don't we? So we put a cable there. And this guy can go there. Does that cause this to connect? I don't know if it does. We might have to put more cables there. Let me see. Nope, it doesn't. Okay. Oh, but now we can access our stuff. Nice. So I can grab my cable. Yay! Nice. Oh, that's interesting that it doesn't allow the signal to pass through, but okay. There. But, oops. But if we look at this guy, we can see that we only have a range of 16 blocks. So that's like, well, let's see. So already over here, we've already lost our range. So that's, we're not even in our house yet. So obviously we're going to have to upgrade that guy. Make a range upgrade with an ender pearl, a redstone, and an upgrade. And I'm just going to set up auto crafting for that. And let's see, if we put all 4 of those, we're up to 48 blocks. That should be sufficient, I think. But we're also using a lot more, or a lot more CF. So if we look at our controller now, we're going to see that we are using, oh my gosh. We're using 248 RF. 40 of that is coming from the wireless transmitter. Actually, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. But now we can access it over here. Over here. I wonder if we can access it in our farm. In our mob farm. Yep, still. Nope. Okay, we can't access it in our mob farm, but that's probably okay. I mean, we've got a grid right here. So we can access our grid from here all the way, like halfway through our backyard. So that's pretty good. That's a good range. That's where we spend most of our time. And now we won't have to keep running back in there every time we want to access our stuff. Now it's time to do a little alchemy. Kind of all over the place today, right? That's okay. I'm tying up a lot of loose ends. There's a lot of little things that I've been wanting to do for a while, but they just haven't fit in with the like theme of the other episodes. So today doesn't have any theme at all. We're just going to do stuff. I'm probably going to put a piston on that so that we can pull it out. What does that do? Oh, that must give us coarse earth, or coarse dirt. I want some tulips. I'm having a really hard time finding them, but I'm finding tons of other flowers, so we can use the alchemy catalyst to convert. I don't know, is this too much? I don't know, man. It's a lot of flowers. I kind of like it and I kind of don't. It's almost a little bit overwhelming. Alright, that's a little cleaner. I've just got tulips over here and then I have it looking a little bit more wild as we get over there. I think that's a better balance. I want to play around a little bit with the environmental controller from RFTools. As you can see, it's pretty expensive, especially for us right now, because a lot of these resources are not things we have a whole lot of, but I think it'll be fun. So what I want to do is I want to get flight, basically, because it's going to be a little while before we have full flight. So I'm going to use the environmental controller so that we can at least fly around our base, which will be nice for, well, flying around our base and getting things done. So that's what we're going to do. It's going to be a little expensive to do and a little expensive to maintain as far as RF. But we are soon... That's an Ender Mini. Okay. We are soon going to be generating more RF. So I have to take a syringe, and I have to go to the Nether, and I have to beat up a ghast with it. Oh boy, how am I going to do that without flying? That's going to be tough. You know what? I do have jetpacks. That's right. I almost forgot. We have jetpacks. We have just jetpacks. They're not the greatest jetpacks in the world, but they're decent. They'll at least get us to where we can fly around to get a ghast. So let's do that. Let's play a little bit with just jetpacks. We have a progression of jetpacks here. We've got wooden, stone, and we go on and on and on until we get to, well, creative, but a rainbow, which is pretty expensive, as you can see. That's going to be our fastest and possibly the most efficient. Fuel efficiency 50 our redstone per tick. Now, these things take redstone. They don't take RF. So, but we do have, okay, so anyway, we're going to start with the wooden one. Need flint and steel. Now, don't try to fly the wooden one. It'll blow up. And then from the wooden one, we can make the stone one. Now, don't try to fly the stone one. It'll blow up. Wood and stone are not good materials for jetpacks, but they are required to make the next one. So that's the iron jetpack. Now, this is the first jetpack that we can actually fly. So we are going to lose some armor protection. Oh, not much though. Let's see. I guess it, wow, is that the same as... Okay, it looks like it's the same as iron protection. Okay, and since we have such good armor everywhere else, that should be fine. And then we need to have a bunch of redstone in our inventory. I'm going to put it in my hotbar so that we can see how it works. And now, if I remember, okay, there we go. And this thing does not have hover. We can't hover with the iron jetpack. So if we hover over the jetpack, we can see all of the qualities that it has: the speed, the upward speed, the fuel efficiency, and they actually get more efficient as we grow up. So you can move faster and use less redstone. So the first one that has hover, that can hover, is the gold one. So let's do the gold one. Oh, durability. There we go. I put the iron jetpack in our blood chest, and it is now fully repaired. So I should be able to use it in this recipe. Yes, to make the golden one. 16 diamonds. How are we doing with diamonds? We're doing okay with diamonds. You know what? I'm going to do this. Alright, so we've got the diamond jetpack. We're going to stop there. I'm not going to go to create... They're not going to... Well, obviously, I'm not going to go to creative. I'm not going to go to rainbow. You know what? Let's try this gold one, or this diamond one, and see how it is. And then we'll decide whether we want to do rainbow. Okay. Wow. This is actually pretty nice. Wow. Let's go beat up a ghast. But first... Sure, why not? What do we get? Blast protection. Oh, that'll be nice. For going after ghasts. I'm hearing ghasts everywhere, but I cannot find any. Oh, here we go. Oh, no, I don't want to kill it. No, don't. Yay, it's full. I think we got it. double check. Yep, 100%. Yay! Now, we can go back home. Flight module is that. Oh, and the ghast. Hooray! Okay, where do I want to put this? I guess we'll put it near where we put the wireless charger, because that's kind of centrally located. Right, I'm going to save us a bunch of RF here. I'm going to tell you a secret. When the environmental controller runs, so if we turn it on for a second, we can fly, right? If we turn it off, the effect continues for about 25 seconds, 26 seconds, something like that. And then we fall. So if we want to save ourselves a lot of RF, which I do, no, I just fell, we can use our sequencer and give it a pulse once every 26 seconds. As I placed a sequencer up here, and I have it giving it a pulse, one pulse, and I have it at loop 1, which is loop the cycle all the time, ignore any redstone signals, so that it's going to give it a pulse once about every 3 seconds or so. As you can see, it turns on and off every 3 seconds. So it's going to end up using a lot less RF. We could actually have it pulse much less than that, but that's just the simplest thing for me to do with the sequencer. I needed another network card because I wanted to make another remote storage module. Again, the advanced network card is normally not required in this recipe. That's something that was added in this pack, because these things are very, very powerful and normally very, very cheap. So I'm going to set up a modular storage down here. So remember how I have this inventory that I created earlier today that allows me to store stuff that I want to carry around with me. It would be really nice if we also had access to that stuff within the system, so that I can carry whatever I want to with me without, whoops, oh that's right, that doesn't connect to that, without worrying that I'm going to be taking stuff away from our system, or that I won't be able to access it in the system. So I've got an external storage on this guy, and I'm going to take the remote storage, and I'm going to put it there, remote ID 2, and I'm going to put this in here. So this is the same storage that I carry around with me. So now, like things like our swapping wand and all of our different wands, if I happen to look for them in here, I'll find them. Hooray! I know today was a bit scattered, but we did do a lot of stuff that I thought was really necessary that I've been wanting to do for a while. Just some quality of life stuff. We've got a lot of inventory that we can carry around with us. We can teleport back to our base when we want. We can fly at our base, and we got some nice, cheap, efficient flight, and we have some slightly less efficient flight right now for when we go to other places. And we made some adjustments to our farm. We got a bigger battery in our inventory. In the next episode, I think we're going to get into some RF generation, or forge energy generation, and I'm not really sure yet how. We might do deep resonance, we might do extreme reactors, we might improve our Actual Editions canola setup and start doing empowered oil. So I do hope you join me for that. Of course, if you do have any questions or comments, do feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I do enjoy chatting with you guys. And of course, if you did enjoy this, don't forget to click the like button and to join me next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.